Gunfights are not like you see in the movies, folks. They're scary, they're chaotic, and anything can happen. Hi everyone, this is John with today's active self-protection lesson. Today's lesson comes to us from Atlanta, Georgia, and it's surveillance video of a gunfight that police are still looking for all the answers on. It's going to teach us some important lessons here about transitional spaces, about de-escalating, escape, and evading, and about how dangerous it could be to be a bystander in a deadly force encounter. Make sure to read the additional information on this one. There's a lot going on as we see these guys here in the black Charger are fueling up before dinner, and the guy in the red shirt's not involved. He's a bystander, but this guy walking up in the black shirt and the blue jeans is our perpetrator, and he is going to ask this guy here if he wants to buy some weed. That's at least what the video purported to be from the victim. Says that he did, and the guy says, nah man, I'm cool, I don't need any. So then the guy shows him a gun and says, hey man, I want some money. Well, his victim has a gun of his own, and so he gets out the AK pistol that we can see there, and now they're in a standoff. He said he didn't want to shoot this guy, just wanted to let him to get the heck out of there. Again, if that video that's purported to be from him is, and the guy who is the attacker here decides to respond to that by shooting, and he shoots multiple times, and now the victim here is going to take multiple shots back with the AK. He's going to put about 15 or so shots is what I was able to count. It's kind of hard to see because of the resolution. And now this one, the shooting is functionally over. The attacker jumped into a red car and ran off. The police are still looking for him, actually, as of the recording of this video. Now, the girl in the passenger seat gets out, and she is shot in the left shoulder. They're going to transport her to the hospital. She makes it okay. You know, has to have some surgery there. They go inside to get that, and it's all over. Let's go back and learn some lessons here. Rule number one, I think, is the rule of stupid. You know, you're in a rough part of town. Nothing saying that it's a bad thing here. You know, if a guy just approaches you and says, hey man, I want to sell you some weed, it's perfectly cool to go, no man, I'm cool, I don't need any of that stuff, and then be on your way, but recognize you're in a dangerous place. I also don't recommend that you keep a firearm in the car, rather keep it on your person. Very difficult, obviously, here with an AK pistol. So the guy shows him a gun. He's a deadly threat here. He already showed the guy the gun, which is why our intended victim got his pistol out, and that's an AK pistol. I don't think many people know how to use, you know, a rifle caliber pistol very well. So he gets it out here, and I want you to see that that attacker there is trying to get his gun in the fight. Watch how many times he has to try to chamber this gun. It's not ready to go. But if you have to pull a gun on an attacker, somebody who's threatened you with deadly force, don't mess around with it. One of the things I'm going to say here from the victim's perspective is he's trying to get a view of the guy over the car. Recognize that if you have to shoot somebody, you can shoot them right through the car, and it'll streak right through that car like butter. You know, if you take a vehicle combat class, you'll know what is cover and what is just concealment and how to use that firearm through. Here you see the guy, he puts a hand up, hey man, I'm submissive, I don't want to fight anymore. So the guy wants to let him go, but you got to recognize that continues to present a threat. Now he's trying to get away here so he's not, you know, endangering his girlfriend, but what that guy does is go around. You see that first shot go through the glass. Now if you look at the angle, you think, man, that first shot through the glass should have gone high. How did it shoot the girlfriend in the shoulder? Well, the windshield does weird things to bullets. It actually moves that bullet towards perpendicular, and that first shot would have been my guess as to the one that shot her. The other ones could have as well. Now he's still trying to peek up and get over the top of that in order to get shots on target, which is why I keep telling you to train. If you have to use a firearm to defend yourself around your vehicle, if you're not in it, get away from it, and you know how to use it for cover and concealment. So he puts multiple shots on target, but you notice there, they weren't aimed shots, which is why I don't really recommend AR or AK pistols, because I don't think most people know how to use them. And then finally, as the girlfriend gets out of the car, it reminds us here that first aid skills are incredibly important for self-defenders, that you can't just have gun skills, you gotta have first aid skills here to get the bleeding to stop, to understand what happens with a traumatic injury like a gunshot wound, to get the first aid going for the paramedics to get there. This one was crazy. I still don't think we know who all the good guys and the bad guys are, so let's hold abeyance on that. But there's some lessons about fighting, you know, in a vehicle here to protect ourselves and those we love and to cover our asp.